Welcome to the Austin Method, where we help you develop the skills of square dancing. This segment is called Behind the Scenes. This is where we share things with you other than the skills we're already sharing in the Austin Method. So here's the deal. Square dancing requires a lot of concentration, especially when you're just beginning and learning. It requires a lot of focus, a lot of concentration. The last thing you need is the distraction of beating yourself up for a mistake. That's why in square dancing, forgiveness is one of the first things you need to learn. You gotta learn to let it go. It's a long way through a tip that's maybe 12 minutes long if you make a mistake early on and you spend the next 12 minutes beating yourself up, because it blows your focus, it blows your concentration. You can't hear calls while you're thinking about what you messed up on. Why did I do that? What was I thinking? Why don't I know that better? What's the definition of that? You gotta let it go and just come back around to it if you need to after the tip, but you can't be beating yourself up. So in the Austin Method, one of the unintended consequences that I actually worry about is that if people are learning DIY, the skills of square dancing, that they won't learn the art of forgiveness, that they won't learn, they'll put too much pressure on themselves, they'll set the wrong expectations, that because they've developed these skills online at home, that when they get to the square dance floor, they're not going to make any mistakes. You are. You're always going to make mistakes. You're not going to hear the call right. There's going to be a distraction. You're going to be daydreaming. You're always going to make mistakes. Always. You got to learn to get over that. You got to learn to forgive yourself immediately. Let it go and move on. That's the only way you recover and get back in the game. When you're dancing, there's lots of people around you, lots of people dancing, and when you make that mistake, it feels very public. It feels like there are 80 people in 10 squares that saw that mistake. Guess what? They were all doing their own thing. They were all dancing in their own square. Maybe one, maybe two saw it, maybe nobody saw it. Doesn't matter. If you compound it by making more mistakes because you won't let it go, then it gets ugly. Another reason people tend to get upset about making mistakes is we're always looking for the perfect tip. It's kind of like hot and sour soup. I once had the perfect cup of hot and sour soup. I've spent the entire last 30 years looking for another cup of hot and sour soup that was that good. Square dance tips are the same way. You'll have one that is just so perfect. It flows, it moves, everybody's exactly where they need to be. You're helping each other through your turns, your frames are all good, you're communicating, everything's perfect. You spend a lot of time looking for that after that. But you need to have realistic expectations. The perfect tip is few and far between. All the others, they can be great. They can be a lot of fun. They might not be perfect. Somebody will make a mistake in almost every tip. It's how you recover from it that makes you a great dancer or a mediocre dancer. When you get out on the dance floor, you're putting yourself out there. There are 8 other people counting on you, and it's a risk. But it's a risk worth the taking. If you've done a little dancing so far with Fun Night, or your friends have told you how much fun square dancing is, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, you're going to have to take my word for it. But putting yourself out there is not such a bad thing. So cut yourself some slack. Square dancing is hard. It takes concentration. It's easy to make mistakes. Move through them, move on. You'll make fewer mistakes after that. Don't stop. Take deep breaths. Focus on the next call. And smile. Smiling actually will make you feel better. Even if you don't quite believe it initially, it's better to smile than to go around grumpy. Make sure to like and comment before you go. This is the way YouTube tells other people that you found this material engaging one way or the other. Comments are always appreciated. Likes and shares, of course, are much appreciated. And remember, however well-informed and carefully considered they may be, the opinions expressed here are solely my opinions and don't necessarily reflect the opinions of others involved in this production. Thank you for visiting the Austin Method. We hope to see you on the dance floor soon.